Certainly. Here is the completed and refined folk-tale style story of young Vusimuzi, written with heartfelt emotion and traditional African storytelling tone. A true African folk-tale. In a small village nestled between dusty plains and thorny bushes, where the wind whispered secrets of the past, and the night howled with ancient voices, there lived a boy named Vusimuzi. Life had wrapped him in hardship from the beginning, yet in his chest beat the heart of a lion, determined to conquer the world through the power of learning. Each morning, before the first cockcrow and while the stars still blinked in the darkness, Vusimuzi would rise, with nothing but a worn satchel and thin sandals. He stepped into the blackness of dawn. The path to his school was no ordinary walk, it was a journey of bravery. 10 kilometers through bushes tangled with thorns, where hyenas' laughs echoed in the distance like the chants of witches. Villagers told tales of hyenas being the horses of wizards, and when Vusimuzi heard them at night, his body would shiver, and his hair would stand like dry grass in the wind. But Vusimuzi walked anyway, not because he wasn't afraid, he was, but because he believed. He believed in a future where he could sit among scholars and wear a white shirt and chalk-dusted trousers. A future where he would stand in front of a classroom and say, "I am teacher Vusimuzi." You see, in his mind, a teacher knew everything, and knowing everything meant never being helpless again. Arriving at school, tired and hungry, was a victory. Learning was his daily battle, and he fought it with cracked hands and hungry belly. And then came the long walk back home, where sometimes the only meal waiting was the scent of boiled wild leaves or nothing at all. Famine had struck the village like a curse. Once fertile lands had turned to powder under the sun. Crops that danced with promise under 2 days of rainfall had withered again in silence. Still, Vusimuzi pressed on. In his mind, he heard his mother Molly's voice, gentle, worn by pain, but strong like an old tree. "My son, only school can free us. Only school, my child." Molly worked the fields with blistered hands, feeding 9 children alone. Vusimuzi's father, Partson, had left years ago for South Africa to work in the mines. He had promised to send money, food, and letters, but time passed, no word came. It was as if the mines swallowed him whole and forgot to spit him back. Despite it all, Vusimuzi never let go of the hope burning in his chest. Year after year, he fought through school. He studied under trees, by moonlight, by candle ends, and sometimes only by memory. His feet cracked, his uniform thinned, but his dream thickened. Teachers noticed his hunger, not just for food, but for knowledge, and slowly, like the slow rise of the sun, life began to change. He passed 1 grade, then another. Then, with the help of kind villagers and a small bursary from a community project, Vusimuzi made it to college. There, he studied to be what he always dreamed, a teacher. Years later, the same village that watched a skinny boy walk past hyenas saw a confident man return. He came not with riches or gold, but with a box of books and the power of a dream fulfilled. Children gathered around him, eyes wide. Mothers smiled, elders nodded. And so, teacher Vusimuzi built a small school in his village, teaching children to read, to write, to imagine, to walk even when the path was dark and thorny. His family's life changed. His siblings got chances they never thought possible. His mother no longer had to dig fields alone. Though Partson was never heard from again, Vusimuzi filled that empty space with hope, proof that one determined child can carry the weight of a family, a village, and even a generation.